That's Reverend Ike. Let me just, Reverend Ike, I have something which I want to show you, but you can't have it because it's mine. I want to know whether or not you think this may just have some bearing on what it is that you're saying to all of us here.
They can because they think they can. Absolutely, I believe that, because even the Bible says, as a man thinks, so is he. And this to me means as a man thinks of himself, so is he. Beautiful.
Now we're going to get 100 people going to want that. This is the only one I have. It's mine. Yes.
Well, I don't agree with you at all, but I'm really not envious of what you have. The thing I'm concerned about is what you're telling other people, that there's no God and there's no hereafter.
Oh, no, I never said there is no God. I'm saying God is within you. Can you accept God in you,
yes,
or would you rather have him way off?
God's in me, but...
I see. Can you accept the goodness of life now, or would you rather die and go through hell to get to heaven?
Oh, I don't think that.
No, I'm only saying to you that God is in you.
But you're using the Bible. You're quoting things from the Bible, but yet you don't... where is your... the Bible is our source of...
inspiration. And yeah. I get the greatest inspiration from it.
What makes you right and the rest of us wrong?
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm using what is right, what does me good, what works for me.
Yes.
But I feel that every religion interprets the Bible in their own way.
And that's
true.
So he's okay with you?
Right.
It's true.
All right. Yes.
From what you said of your youthful background, your philosophy was not a part of it then. How did it evolve?
Well, you see, that type of religion was not meeting my need, and not only that, it was not meeting the needs of the people. Some of the most frustrated people in the whole world are religious people, and it's because religion has given them all of these frustrations about this business about sin and sex and everything. And so I just left all of that whole frustrating thing. I do not believe that God enjoyed my suffering and sickness and so on and so forth, and so I left that concept.
Yes.
Do you have everything you want, not only materially, but in all ways? Or you said you don't have an estate. Is that something you
There is a song that I sing in our church called All Is Mine. And by that I mean health, happiness, love, success, and prosperity are mine. And to me, these are the riches of life. Health, happiness, love, success, and prosperity. And I have that.
Reverend Ike, I just want to make one comment. Most people here, I don't think, realize that the self-image that they have is the one they create themselves. If the trappings that Reverend Ike has with him today, evidently he needs that for his own positive self-image. The thing that hangs me up is, where do you place God in the hereafter?
I place God now.
Except within you. How do you get God within you?
God is within each individual, period.
Well, where do you
God has never been outside of the individual or something apart from the individual.
Well, where
this
do
is
you
what
place...
this is the way I see spirit. Let's call it spirit. And I am God appearing as me. You are God appearing as you.
No, I am not God appearing as me.
But this is the discovery.
God.
This is the discovery that I try to bring each person to, of the God within.
Okay, you could make her feel a lot better if you would say there is a heaven and a reward that God has prepared for her.
No, you know what? They don't want it now. They want to die and get it later.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the real hang-up.
Right. Well, isn't that all right? What bothers you? Not much time.
What really bothers me is what happens to an undesirable person who has his heaven on earth by hurting other people. Isn't God just, where he's going to make it all even somewhere?
Be
sometime?
not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatsoever man sows, that shall he also reap. In my philosophy, I teach the individual to be right with himself first, to be honest with himself. If a person is right and honest with himself, he will be right and honest with everyone else. And this is what I strive to be and to do.
Well, I feel, being a salesman, having gone to several self-motivation courses, I feel like the audience perhaps could swallow this better if he was up there as a self-motivation person rather than as a reverend, because his ideas are basically very good.
In other words, people object to a reverend being prosperous and successful. And I don't know, maybe
Maybe what?
I started to say, is there more of an objection because I'm a black reverend and I'm prosperous and successful? Are
While
you
we
sure there
ponder
is
that
no
question.
subconscious racism?
We'll be back in just a moment.
You said that your father was a minister in South Carolina and that you did have another God that you discarded. I would like to know what changed your mind to discard that God into this way of thinking.
The concept of God that was given to me in fundamental religion as a child was a very cruel God, a very harsh God, a God that delighted in suffering, a God that delighted in poverty. And I suffered poverty for quite a long time. I and my mother walked 4 miles to school every day. She taught 7 grades in one room. When I went to high school, I remember when lunch was 7 cents a day, and I didn't have the 7 cents. And the kind of God that would delight at my suffering and my need and my deprivation was a God that I was glad to get rid of.
But the more you suffer, the greater that reward.
No, indeed. My reward is now.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it seems to me that you wouldn't be sitting here in the lap of luxury if a lot of people didn't do a lot of giving to you. I wonder why you refuse in turn to do your giving back.
Oh, no, we do give. First of all, people would not give to me so wonderfully and abundantly as they do if I, in turn, was not giving something to them. That is for certain. Nobody gets something for nothing. I work. I inspire millions of people the world over, and especially here in the United States of America. I say to people, look, regardless of your conditions and your circumstances, believe in the God within you, believe in the good within you, believe in the love within you, and you will be motivated to be, to do, and to have the good which you desire. And because I give people this inspiration, they give to me and this ministry so that I can continue to share it with others.
Hi, I'm glad you waited. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Go right ahead, briefly.
What I'm calling to say is I've talked with Reverend Ike. I've visited several of his meetings, and I do agree with what he's saying to a point. I agree that if you work for something, you feel within yourself that I can do, then you will do. But you can't sit up and, like he said, depend on welfare and depend on someone to give you all of your life.
So you support him then?
Yes, I do.
All right. He thanks you for that testimony.
Very much, I thank you.
What's the matter? You think he's the devil? No, you don't mean that. Who else? Yes, yes.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I'm really concerned about this $6.5 million plus that you have been accruing yearly. You don't feel there's any responsibility on your ministry's part to turn back this money to the people that you are trying to reach in secondary ways. I agree with you, welfare is a servitude and a slavery. But there are many viable secondary ways of assisting people that you have now given this new value structure to in the way of institutions and clinics, as this girl mentioned. Now, this is not a part of your program, I gather.
No, there's something here that really needs to be corrected. There's an idea here perhaps being propagated that every year I am accruing millions of dollars that I'm stacking up somewhere. The fact is, I don't know the figure, but this year to date, we have spent more millions this year than we have taken in so far this year to publicize positive self-awareness and self-motivation to people in terms of radio, television, publications, and direct correspondence with people. We are always giving this back. There is no such thing that I'm taking in millions of dollars, stacking it up somewhere. I don't have an estate as yet. Everything that comes in belongs to this ministry. This ministry is a duly organized religious corporation, and we do give an account to the IRS, and there's no millions being stacked up somewhere. Everything is being given back to the cause of teaching people to believe in themselves and to be self-responsible.
Esquire magazine suggested that you and your family, you are married, you have one child, I believe.
Yes.
Could retire for life with the income.
I have no personal estate whatsoever. This is what I want people to understand. Everything that is given for this ministry goes to this ministry and for this ministry, and it is constantly being spent for this ministry.
Okay, let me just
I'm not accumulating any millions in my own name at all.
All right, let me just chat with you for a second. Suppose, let's pretend he did have a couple of million.
Right.
Are you saying that he has an obligation to do something with that?
I think so. When he's
okay,
taking...
but how much of it?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean,
that.
how rich can he be? That's the
How
point.
rich can he? He can be as rich as he wants, as long as the people are continuing to support him. I'm not disagreeing with him in his philosophy at all. I do agree with him. But that's a lot of money to take in, and so far he's paying his salaries, I guess.
Okay.
And he's corresponding with his $2 million, and he's publishing a magazine and buying a Rolls Royce.
Okay.
But I think on a one-to-one basis, there are many ways of reaching people that now have this new set of values and this new goal in life of
Okay, I guess my
materialism.
question is, can you have $2 million? Would it be okay?
Oh, sure, but
All right, now,
right, I'm not saying that then everybody else should too.
Why? Why don't you say that?
Well, I mean, I am not with my $2 million. He is
Yeah.
my point.
No, but I'm saying that all of the money that we take in is being used to bring
Well,
people
this
to
is
a
what
point
we have
of
not
self-realization.
covered.
All of it.
I mean, there are many neighborhood programs and down to the, into the neighborhoods, to the people. There are theoretical approaches to what you're doing, and I feel this is what you're doing. I'm
right.
simply asking, are these monies going in other ways?
The next part that I want to say is this. When it comes to what I give financially, we've been very secretive about that. You know why? We do have a program. There are young people in colleges across this land that we help. There's the Rev Ike Foundation. We help children's homes. And we help other good causes. But I just don't like to make a grandstand issue out of someone when I help them. Because when I was working my way through school, I remember somebody helped me. And that person stood me up at a minister's conference and told everybody, look, this boy is poor, he's from South Carolina, and I'm helping him. And he said, I want you ministers to let him preach at your churches so that he can get some money to eat. And I was terribly embarrassed. And I do not embarrass those people that I help. There are a lot of people that we help financially in terms of education and career development, but I don't make a grandstand issue out of it.
Okay, if all of the money that you get in, you give back to whoever, where do you get the money to buy your jewels and your Rolls Royce and so
I
forth?
get a salary, you know. I work diligently, and I get a salary.
Yes, that's
and
okay.
when I get that salary, you know, I use it as I desire. I'm well paid, and I deserve every penny that I get. I work for everything that I have.
Well, what I'm really kind of upset about is, I don't care what Reverend Ike does. And if he does get a salary, we all seem to be envious of all his fantastic jewels.
Yeah.
But if this is the way he chooses to spend it, and he does say, I mean, my husband's an accountant, and yes, he is being checked by the IRS. But if he chooses to wear all this fantastic jewelry, when he first came out, my first opinion was, oh, he's really raking it in. But if the people who are giving him this money want him to look this way, and he's obviously successful, we shouldn't gripe, because it isn't our money.
The people who object, the people mostly who object to what I have are the people who don't give me anything.